Hi, everybody. I'm Elida Zweidler-McKay, and I'm coming to you from ZM Coach, where we're all about helping you move up in your career, whether that's taking a promotion, making the most of a promotion you've just gotten, or looking for a new job somewhere else. So, today I want to talk to you about distraction and what are all the ways that we can get distracted by work, and then how that can affect us in our lives outside of work, and finally, what you can do about it. So there are a lot of reasons that people get distracted by their work. It could be that you're facing some kind of big milestone or big deadline or big presentation that you're trying to get ready for. Could be that something upsetting has happened. Maybe you're in some kind of conflict at work with one of your colleagues, or your boss has made a decision that you find really frustrating, or the company's moving in a direction you don't agree with. All of those can cause a lot of emotional upset, and that can bleed into our lives outside of work. There are a lot of people facing a lot of uncertainty at their work right now, companies that are downsizing, restructuring, changing direction, merging, and that uncertainty can be distracting. Our minds don't like to not know what's going to happen, and so we spend a lot of mental energy trying to map out the possibilities or the scenarios, and that can pull us away from being really present with our lives and our families. And then finally, just the quantity of work. And I think we're in a phase now where, we're learning to live with the ups and downs of the ongoing pandemic. But some of the latitude that we had to cope with working from home and hybrid work and those kinds of things is going away, and the pressure is starting to ramp up again. Companies are starting to want to be back at the speed that they were before the pandemic, and a lot of us just don't quite have the energy for that. And so the quantity of work that's being demanded of us can also be a real, pressure and distraction. And all of that distraction, whatever the reason, comes at a real cost. When we find ourselves thinking about work and drifting back into work and obsessing over work when we're not at work, that can really take away from our presence with our families, with our friends, with our loved ones, and that comes at a real cost. If you're raising small children, I can tell you with a college kid, being a brand new empty nester, that time is precious and it does not come back. And spending it, on your phone, distracted by work, going back to your desk, can really pull you away from the opportunities that you have to make those precious memories that are going to sustain you when they leave the house. Also, being distracted by work can pull you away from precious time with aging children. I lost my dad a couple years ago, and just last week we lost my father-in-law, and I'm so grateful for the times that we got to be with them and be really present with them. But it wasn't all the time that we could have been, and it's hard to kind of see that go away and realize, our chance to fix that or to do something different is over. So, uh, you know, elderly people, even good friends. I lost a good friend several years ago, quite suddenly, to a car accident. Like, you just never know when somebody's no longer going to be in your life. So being able to be really present when you're with them and really attuned to them and connected with them is a real gift, both for them and for yourself. And it's something that we miss out on when we're constantly sort of dwelling on work and ruminating about work and finding ourselves pulled in our attention to our work. And of course, friendships and even marriages can start to drift apart when we're not consciously putting energy into them and our presence and our connection into them. So, being distracted by work, feeling like you have to work all the time, feeling like work consumes your thoughts can come at a real cost in all these different ways. Not to mention the ways that it takes away from even taking care of yourself. I know so many people who don't exercise because they feel like they don't have time, or they don't eat well because they feel like they don't have time, or they don't sleep enough because they feel like they don't have time. And the reason they feel like they don't have time is because they're pulled into all these things with work. And those also, lack of sleep, lack of good health, healthy food, healthy exercise is also got a long-term cost for you, short-term and long-term, in terms of your mental and physical health. So being distracted, being pulled into work all the time can have a real cost. And that's why I want to talk to you today about what you can do about it. So I think there are sort of three steps that you can take that make it easier to start to move away from work. And the first is to learn that your presence, that where you direct your attention in any given moment is a choice. It's something that you can control. It's not automatic. It's something you have to learn how to do. You have to build the muscle to do it. But when you have the strategies and the tools, it is possible to stop ruminating, to stop obsessing about work, and to sort of consciously pull your attention into the present moment and into the connections with the people around you. I think it really helps. It's important to clarify your goals and to create your own definition of success. When you don't have your own definition, it is likely that you'll be pulled into everybody else's definition of success, and you'll want to please them and want to meet their demands on your time without really having a clear sense of your own. And that's when work can be overwhelming, because every single person that you work with, everyone up the chain in your organization, will have some demand for you, some idea of where you should be spending your time and how. And if you let yourself just be pulled into those without your own sense of what matters to you, that can be overwhelming and can lead to that kind of long hours and going back to your desk late at night and overwork. Because if you don't know what success looks like for you and for your team and for your department, and you're just taking everybody else's requests, it's endless and there's no way to get out from under it. So really knowing what success looks like for you, and then leading that for your team or your division or whatever you're leading, is another really important piece to taking back control over your time and your attention, and being able to focus on work that matters to you, and then let it go at the end of the day and move on and focus on the other things that are important in your life. And then finally, being able to set boundaries effectively. So taking those choices that you're making and communicating about them in a way that has you come across as a leader and as a partner to your boss and to your company, and not as someone who's complaining or always frustrated or unwilling to be helpful. I think a lot of people avoid setting boundaries because they're worried that they're going to come across as someone who's not a team player. And it's absolutely true that if you're not thoughtful about it, that is how you will come across, and it will have a detrimental effect on your career. But if you've got the right strategies for how to set those boundaries, you can actually leverage those opportunities as a way to really step into partnership with your boss and with the leaders of your organization, because you see things on the ground that they don't see. You see the impact of the choices that they're asking to be made in a way that they don't see them. And when you know how to bring that information up and share it, you become a really valuable thinking partner to them. And it's all in the delivery. It's all in how you connect the dots for them, so that it doesn't come across as a complaint or as someone who's not willing to pitch in and help out. These are all things that I help my clients do. When we work together, when I'm your coach, we dig into really understanding your goals and your definition of success and what matters to you. And then we apply that in specific strategies that help you learn how to focus in the moment, learn how to focus in the big picture, and also learn how to really communicate about that in a way that sets you up as a real strategic leader rather than someone who's just complaining or frustrated. And the best part about that is when you have those skills, you can be effective in any job you want to be effective in. Leaving your company might be the right move for you, or it might be possible for you to stay when you know how to set the boundaries and make the choices. And that's another thing I help my clients with. When they're in a situation at work that feels untenable, we really get clear about, is it truly untenable, or with some boundary setting and some partnership, is it possible for you to stay? And do you even want to? So I work with a lot of clients who are kind of on the fence, where there are a lot of things they love about their job, but they're not sure they can keep it going. And we figure that out together, because we start with these core pieces of clarity and choice and communication. If this is at all of interest to you, we'd love to help you out. We'd love to help you find the way to get the balance that you want to have in your life, and to be present for the life that you want to have and enjoy having outside of work. Jump on the phone with us and let us talk with you about your situation and see if it's possible for us to help you. You can book a call with us at ziacoach.com/a apply, and let us help you get off to a great start for 2023. Book that call now so we can get you going on your best year in your career yet. All right. Take care.